Okay, so the concept is very simple. See, if you look at the things that we have already learned, first we learned about the normal file system, which is HDFS, correct? And then we created a programming framework on the top of this HDFS file system. We call it as MapReduce, right? After HDFS and MapReduce we have done, we saw a new way of representing the data in NoSQL format. We called it as MongoDB, right? Then we saw how you will expose HDFS as a table, and we created the other NoSQL database called Hive, right? And then we had data ingestion mechanism where we have introduced Scoop, Flume, and Kafka, correct? And then I told you how you will integrate all these things by Presto. All these things, there is one common problem or common property, not a problem. Common property. What is that? HDFS, except MongoDB, of course. Hive, I'm telling about all the Hadoop related things. They are all write once, read many times. They are all meant for OLAP, online analytical processing. So you won't be creating a Hive database in your organization, let us say, for recording your credit card transactions. And every time when the user is making some transaction, you want to put it into Hive. No, very, very bad.
You said except MongoDB, right?
Yeah, except MongoDB. MongoDB can be used as transactional as well. Okay. So MongoDB except MongoDB, because it is, you consider that as a simple database kind of thing where JSON data is being used for transaction as well. I'm telling about the Hadoop ecosystem. Okay. So whenever you are doing this, there are problems. Can you tell me what is the problem? Every time, what will happen if you do an insert? A MapReduce is getting executed, right? So all the ACID properties and making sure that everything is replicated, it's very difficult. That is how Hadoop is designed. So these people came and thought about creating an OLTP system on the top of Hadoop just to fill that gap. Which gap? Transactional behavior. You can do transactions. We already have seen. We made Hive transactional, remember? Right? By creating the transactional properties, ACID properties and all. But still the read, write and everything will go through that cycle. Again, underlying database file system is HDFS. So they wanted to create an OLTP system on the top of your HDFS, and that's what is called as Hbase. What makes Hbase completely different from all these that you have learned? Hbase is a columnar database. Have you heard about columnar databases? What is meant by a columnar database? What is the difference between a row-based database and a columnar-based database? So, to know that, okay, there is a nice picture. Just type Apache Arrow, ARROW, right? And Apache Arrow is growing very, very rapidly, okay, because it eliminates something called serialization and deserialization, the expensive things that are happening during the process of writing a particular implementation. So if you look at that particular diagram there, okay, I want you to just zoom it and then just read that out, and please look at that diagram which shows you how a columnar database is represented. So that is a very, very clear picture of how you are representing it. You see here, this is your normal database. You have got rows, you have got all the columns and all those things, right? Do you know, in a normal way, unless you do indexing, unless you have primary keys and all, if you want to search this particular data for a particular field, let us say this is a salary column, and I want to find out all the salaries more than 2000, let us say, it has to do a complete table scan, okay? If let us say this is your Oracle database, and in the Oracle database there are 500 million rows or 1 billion rows, and then you want to find out what is the total current balance of this particular account. It has to search. Of course, there are facilities for making that search faster, but there is internally a table scan normally involved in finding out that particular value, which is very expensive, one. And the second is that it is not scalable. For example, I cannot run that particular application from one particular machine or something like that. I need very high-end servers. And what Arrow told is that, okay, I am going to transpose it. If you have learned the matrix transpose in the schools, right? The rows will become columns and the columns will become rows, correct? So they will do the transpose. And what happens is that if you are doing that way, then since all these similar columns are represented together, the way in which you are going to search is going to be much faster. Why? Because it doesn't need to do the entire table scan. See the efficiency that you are getting. Remember high partitioning? If you partition it, you don't have to search the entire database. You need to search only that partition, correct? In the similar way, you can do this particular search and make it faster. And now CPUs, GPUs, TPUs, all these are coming. TPU means tensor processing unit. Okay, tensor processing unit. GPU, graphics processing unit. What's the difference? Anyway, in Spark, I will tell you what is exactly the difference between the normal CPUs and the GPU and all. We need to know that. So, summary, what is that? It makes the things much, much faster.
So, database is everything is a transpose, or it's just for Arrow memory buffer that using?
No. Columnar database concept is everything is column, stored as columnar database, right? You already know a columnar representation. Can you tell me where? I already told you, and I gave you the material also for that. Hive also internally, if you specify one type of format, it will go to columnar. What is that? Parquet. Another one, ORC. Remember I gave you the material. What is ORC? Optimized row columnar. Okay. So, there are ways, but these fellows, Hbase, they came up with a complete database with all the features that are available. Now, some concept that you need to understand. In Hbase, there are two very important things. One is called a row key. For every row, there will be a row key. And there is something called a column family. Row key and column family. And look, assume that this table is a customer data for a bank. So that contains the customer data for a bank. And inside this database, let's assume that you have got customer ID, customer first name, customer last name, address, blah, blah, blah. All these things are there. First, what I'm going to do, these are all the different rows, correct? I'm going to take a row key, which is not any of this field. I will use some row key. And then I'm going to tell that my column family is customer. The name of the column family is customer. In the column family, I have got a cust ID, I have got a customer first name, I have got a customer last name, etc., etc., etc. Internally, whenever you are searching for a row key, what you get is this entire information as that format. Are you getting me? Then now you can go inside and you can search whatever field that you want. So what's the advantage that you got? Let's assume that you want to find out all customer first names starting with letter S. Correct. It will go to that row key and then it will take that particular value. All the customer first names will be stored like this particular block, and then you just scan only this many rows. Understand?
What if I want to know, like a column heading, what is the salary of Krishna? Then it will it be extra processing than regular database?
It will not be. Why? Because again, you want to find out the salary of
One person.
one particular person, and you are going to give the customer first name as Krishna, right? So the moment it is going to here and then identifying the customer first name as Krishna by scanning this much, it knows exactly that index to be searched in the salary column. So it is going to go very, very fast into that particular index, right?
So Ravi, quick thing. So we define column family based on some criteria, right?
Yes.
What is that criteria?
The criteria is the logical grouping. So, for example, customer is there, account is there. I will create two column families. One is called a customer account column family. Account.
So is it that's something we define?
Yes, you define. Okay, so that is where that logical conceptual grouping will come. So, in bank, really the way in which it is implemented is customer is a column family, account is a column family, relationship is another column family, transactions is another column family. So you got four logical groups. Inside customer, all demographics information, mobile number, when to call, what to call, daytime phone number, everything will be in the customer column family.
So in one column family, is there a limit of
Nothing at all. As many number of these things. That is the speed by which that is how they will get it. Okay, very fast. Now there is one caveat, one problem. Hbase works well if you search by row key. You cannot search by a customer first name or a customer last name. That is the caveat. If you want to avoid that and if you want to search it, that's why you need very advanced columnar databases, and that is where Sailfish comes into picture. So Sailfish that they are using is a pure columnar database which eliminates this row key limitation of Hbase. Actually, Sailfish is coming from another database called Netissa. Did I tell you? IBM was the owner of this Netissa. Netissa was bought by IBM, and on the top of that Netissa, they have created Sailfish. It's a columnar database, right? So be careful when you use Hbase. When the raw key based searches whatever you want and the transactions you want, then you will use it. This is first problem. Second, what is the method or technology by which you access the relational databases? We have written no from BERT and all. How did you connect it to Hive? What is the driver that you use? JDBC, right?
JDBC driver.
Is it a relational database?
Connectivity.
It is not a relational database. How will you connect? There is no JDBC. JDBC is possible for relational database management systems. But luckily, just search for Apache. This is just for your information. Phoenix. Apache Phoenix. And then click enter. Read that heading. OLTP and operational analytics for Hadoop. What they have done, they created an JDBC or a JDBC similar driver for Hbase. So if later you want to connect your data quality tool to Hbase, what you should do? You should use which driver? Phoenix driver, and then you should connect to Hbase. That's what Atlas is using. That's what Informatica is also using. Okay, whenever you want to connect to Hbase, if you want to see whatever is there. And I believe, this is what I understood from one of the calls, is that when I asked them why you are using the latest Hadoop stack, they told there are internal dependencies. They use internally the column family and the row key based approach for storing all metadata that you create internally.
You are right.
Yeah. So
all the metadata is stored in Hbase.
That's it. See?
You're right.
That's what I got it from that call which We called that guy, right? Why? Fast. You want to search it by Rocky. So by the Rocky, they will be searching it and they will be finding it out, right? Now, so you got that, and it's a fantastic technology, very nice technology. Where this particular requirement, if it meets that I want a Rocky-based research algorithm and I want to do it fast, yes, go ahead with Hbase. Otherwise, you have to go for other alternative technology. So what I want you to do, maybe you can do along with me. Go to foroursun.com/passion. Okay, please do it from the virtual machine. Right? And please go inside the directory called Spark Notes. And inside the Spark Notes, you will see one PDF starting as the real Hbase. And just click on that, OLTP on Hadoop. The real Hbase, OLTP on Hadoop. Did you get it? Yes? No?
This is when it started.
Yeah. foroursun.com/Spark Notes. Spark Notes is S and N capital. And then you will see. Vasavi, you didn't get? foroursun.com/passion. Are you inside? Then Spark Notes. That is the directory. So inside that, did you see the real? Yeah. Okay. So it gives you the enough, just enough theory that is required for making sure how Hbase is used, and I am giving you the complete details of how you can install it from scratch also if you want to do that. Okay, with the screenshots, everything is there. Forget about that particular part. Okay, and if you are coming down a little bit, then you will see that how to use Hbase in the Cloudera virtual machine. I think this is an old document. 1 minute. This is completely the installation on your own, okay, without relying on Cloudera. But we want Cloudera's virtual machine, how to use it, because you are mainly going to use that. Let me just find out where it is. No, it is not there inside this document. Okay, can you please go back to foroursun.com and find out, is there any document with the same name on the main directory? That will be the latest. Wait, let me just do this. Okay, so where is it? Okay, so what we will do is, these commands are given if this is not working. Which is not working? Please look at that bin/hbase space shell. So open your command prompt and then type hbase shell. If there are any problems, then please execute that 5 commands. Let's see whether there are any issues when you're starting it. No, look at that. You should get this prompt when you write hbase space shell. Okay, just do it along with me. You started, Krishna? Now the shell is available. What we will do? Help. The first command, just type help, enter. It will tell you how you will use it and some of the basic commands that you want to do. Okay. Just help. Control L will clear the screen as usual. And now let us create a table. And remember, whenever you are copying from the a PDF, that codes should be copied correctly. Otherwise, you will get an error. Let's write like this: create test, and I think comma, CF. Please look at the syntax. It is little bit weird, right? Because it will not allow you create table as all that SQL commands. Hbase is completely different. It is not a SQL database. What is the meaning of this particular command? It's little, you have to be practicing a little bit this one. Test is the name of the table, and for test I want a column family called CF. So if you want to create customer table, you will write create customer, yeah, CF. CF, you can give any name, okay? Right, so press enter and no semicolon, I think. There is a problem. Can't get master address from Zookeeper. I know that there are some problems with this, okay? So I'm going to write Control D here, okay? And please go to that document. That is very, very important because it came from the previous batches only. They were not able to do it. That is why I put it. So let us execute this one by one. Sudo service hbase master stop. Control C. Copy, and I'm going to write here paste hbase, what is that, master stop, and then sudo service hbase region server stop, did you get any problem? If you didn't get any problem, don't do that.
No, I got it.
Okay. And now Hadoop fs minus rmr slash hbase slash hbase. Yeah. And then start it back. Master start. Always first start the master and then the region server, like your name node and data node.
Sudo server Hbase master stop.
Yeah, that is first one. See. Five commands. I have listed all the 5 here. See, this is the first command. And this is the second command. This is the third command. This is the fourth. And this is the fifth. See, now you did not have that particular error. So always remember that commands. So earlier we were getting that error, and once you clean it up, and once you stop it and then start it, then you should not get any error. Let me know once you create it. Create a table. So the service hbase region server start. Wait. Present. Master started, right? Yeah. Okay. Now Hbase shell, and after that write the command. Sudo service Hbase master. No, you should not type it in the Hbase shell, Krishna. In the command prompt. Look where I am typing all the commands. You got it?
I got it. So,
Oh, your system is latest. That bag is also there now. What happened? What is the command that you typed? Create, test, comma, cf. Again you are getting the error? Yeah, it is error. Can't get a master address from zookeeper. Again that same error. Master stop, region server stop, RMR, that is the problem. Okay, so just close that and execute it one more time. As long as it is there, it won't. Okay, now you execute it. Sudo service H. No, you have to start it from the stop. First one. Yeah. Sudo service Hbase master stop.
This RMR command is
This is getting recorded. Okay, 1 minute.
What is this region server, Ravi? Region server?
Master node, data nodes. Okay, in the similar way, master is managing all the regions underneath. Okay, in the regions there will be shards. Okay. All right. Now you go back to that same command, and you created a table, right? After creating the table,
will it also have the replication factor as 3?
Yes.
Same thing.
Which one?
The replication factor within the region servers. So
No, it is not there. It is not there. But it will use internally the HDFS only. Okay. At the HDFS level, it is there.
It will there.
Right. Okay. Now, can we put a value inside the test table? You can see if you scroll little bit down towards the last in that PDF document. Okay, and make sure when you are copying it correctly with the quotes. Just pause a minute to understand clearly what is the command. Okay, I'm pasting it. Please look at the way in which you are inserting a row in the Hbase. What is the table that you created? Test. You are putting into the table test a row 1, and you are creating one column in your column family. Remember, customer will have customer ID, first name, like that. So in the column family, you are going to create a column called A, and what is the value? You are going to put it into it. Value 1 is the value. Clear? Creating or putting into the table a row and creating a column family and then putting a value.
I can change the value, right?
Yes, you can change the value. Of course. Now there is a magic that you need to do. Okay, I want to look at what you have inserted. How will you see? There is no select. I think it is scan test and see what it is doing. Please look at the way it is represented. What is the row key?
Row 1.
Row 1. How many column families are there? Only 1. And what is the name of the column family? A. A is the name of the column family.
No, CF, no?
CF is column family. Inside the column family, there are individual columns, right?
Column is A.
Column is A. And the value is? What is this? What is that? Okay, I will show you. I am going to execute one more one, and I'm going to give it value 2, okay? And I'm going to do a scan. What happened? Where is value 1? This is the beauty. What Hbase does is whenever you are inserting, right? Please think in 3 dimensions in space. Okay? Assume that you are putting a block inside a box. You are putting another block with the timestamp. So from the history, 10 years back onwards, whatever you put into that particular column family, it maintains internally.
Stack.
Yes, it's a stack. So think in 3 dimensions. So every insert, whatever you are doing, by default will have a timestamp also associated with it. Can you tell me? So if you write a query tomorrow telling that how was Krishna's transaction since the beginning of the bank account, it will give you the answer so fast because it stores the timestamp as well. Got it? I will see all the times, whatever time, I want to value 1 also. I have to see that there is a command. Let me check whether that command is there or not.
Is timestamp unique?
Yeah, it is, of course.
So if I insert 2 rows at a time, and
it will automatically manage. It's called a UUID, Krishna. Universal identifier, which means that it will not be at the same time, and there will be some look at the nano. It is taking how much nanoseconds, right? Why it is not showing CFA? Let me create another column in the column family called away, and then let me put value 1, and then let me write scan test. See, now CFA and CFB, but I should be able to get the values of CFA. CFA, remember the old value was value 1? I want that also. Okay, let me just find out what is the command for that. Get the value of all timestamp in Hbase shell. There is a command that you have to execute. Getting all timestamped values. Create test, put test, okay. Scan test is giving, okay. See, that's the beauty. So versions greater than or equal to 3. So it is, this is internally what how it manages is it manages by versions. Okay, each insert is considered as a version. So come here and then right click and then paste and then press enter. There is
Than 1.
Yeah, value 1, value 2.
Why it is not giving version? No.
No, column family A only has 2 versions.
Yeah, I want the 2 versions to come.
Type equal to 1.
Yeah, maybe. No.
Yeah.
No. Wait, we'll find out. Okay. You can try that command. Get test column equal to 0 versions greater than versions.
This will be better for that medical records.
Yeah, absolutely. Medical records, transactions, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, you got a correct use case. Correct. I think I'm missing some property or something. It should give me all the versions. versions greater than or equal to value 2, value 1. I will check. I will get back to you. I'll check and I'll get back to you. Get test row 1 CFA. Test is the name of the table, right? Column A, and I want the versions, which is okay. Let's put one more value. Okay. What did we do? We put CFA value 1, and then CFA value 2, and then put test. Let's say CFA value 3. Okay, value 3, and control L, and let me just find out. It is showing only the latest. Is it? I think the versions is not enabled or something like that. Yeah, I think the versions are not enabled by default, I think. No. The test is, see, as you can see here, all the list of all the versions are getting displayed. It usually used to come. Yeah, I think it is not enabled. Let's see. Cloudera Hbase not showing all versions of insert. You have to configure the maximum and minimum number of errors, so don't worry about it. Okay, so it is just because of the configuration. Otherwise, it will be by default. It will show you the versions. Did you get it? Oh, yeah. Okay, no problem. I wanted to work one small thing we are going to do, which is very interesting. That is why I wanted to work. Which one? Sometimes your system is having that problem, no? Whenever you are starting it, did you start it and shut down clearly?
I didn't know and I reopened it again.
You reopened it now?
Yeah.
Type Hadoop FS minus ls.
And that's what, then I got same error.
Wait, what is the error message?
Client failed to connect server.
Just a minute.
Try once.